whether or not the victim is truly the girl in the video. The victim herself refused to cooperate with law enforcement, and she refused to cooperate with the prosecution.
The jury and the R. Kelly trial has acquitted R&B singer R. Kelly on all counts.
Most of my friends that covered the trial, they were all fairly surprised, but not totally shocked that there was an acquittal, right? You don't have a complaining victim. You don't even have her parents saying, this is my daughter. Not long after he was acquitted, he was in the Grand Marshal of the Blood Pelican Parade, which is a children's back-to-school parade on the south side of Chicago.
The singer continued to dodge rumors of sexual misconduct, and in 2017, BuzzFeed published new allegations against Kelly.
We started seeing articles come up, new articles that detailed stories of more recent victims of R. Kelly's. And so Tamara and I started to look a little bit deeper into the stories.
So we just said, there's something here, like this person doesn't know that person, and this person doesn't know that person, but their stories are similar, so there has to be some type of truth here.
And we started to dig, and actually we were introduced to one survivor and then another and so on.
One family that was out there looking for their daughter, speaking to them, we were able to, be introduced to other victims as well. We weren't guaranteed that these survivors were going to come forward, but over, a couple months' time, they were able to trust us and provide us with personal information, and that really helped bring it to the forefront.
Their stories need to be heard, and they need a bigger platform to tell their stories.
It became like every day, 17 months, every single day, making sure they stayed encouraged, making sure that they knew they had to come to court, call me at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. It didn't even have to be about R. Kelly. It could be about whatever they're feeling, or if they're happy, or if they had a good moment or a good day. And they said, "Do you ever sleep? Because every time we call you, you always answer." And yeah, I told you I'm going to be here for you.
The docuseries production schedule coincided with the explosion of the Me Too and Time's Up movements.
Stop the violence! Stop the rape!
I see his eye. That's what that line was.
The Me Too movement and Time's Up has done a good job so far, taking a close look at Hollywood, but I think there's room for more. I think the music industry as well deserves a closer look.
At about the same time, the social media campaign Mute R. Kelly called out the singer directly.
Mute R. Kelly! Mute R. Kelly!
During the production, we just kept our head down. And really, we didn't know what was going to come of it once it was released, but we knew that we had something really important. And we knew that with all the survivors who were willing to come forward and tell a story, all the cultural critics who stepped up and told their story, and all the other interviews we had, that we had something really, really important to tell, and timely, especially right now.
We black survivors! We black survivors!
After 2 years and dozens of interviews, Surviving R. Kelly was ready to end. And when it did, a fuse was lit. The impact would be immediate and as deep as anything facing the music industry in recent memory. Coming up.
Within days, the protests outside of Sony Music and our state records headquarters.
Cannot allow this to go on another decade.
So there's fake news, Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
There's something out on Twitter this morning.
People know that they want to be on the right side of history.
Surviving R. Kelly aired across 3 nights in January 2019. Millions tuned in to watch the allegations unfold, and over the course of those 3 days, the ratings grew and reaction intensified.
Singer R. Kelly was one of R&B's biggest stars, but a new docuseries has reignited the controversy over his personal life.
The 6-part docuseries that aired on Lifetime was shocking, even for those who had known about these allegations against R. Kelly for years.
When Surviving R. Kelly hit the airwaves, it was dramatic, intense, and impossible to ignore.
It was definitely an event. It just blew up the internet every single night for 3 nights in a row.
Millions of viewers watched the docuseries and saw the emotional and eye-opening allegations it made.
I had trouble sleeping the first 2 nights because it made that much of an impact on me, so I can imagine the impact that it made on others and the women who were reliving, their stories for everyone to see. It was just, it was mind-blowing.
I think the real force and fire was seeing them all together on camera.
Some of his alleged victims are speaking out in a powerful new docuseries about the sexual, mental, and physical abuse they claim they suffered at his hands.
Rallies in his hometown of Chicago, where Kelly's always been a local hero, were tense.
This man is a monster and needs to be brought to justice.
Cannot allow this to go on another decade.
He's going to be held accountable, that there is a new generation of people who are not afraid to speak up.
I think the series was the tipping point for a lot of R. Kelly fans in terms of prosecuting him.
After watching that docuseries,
You don't quit saying things that
I feel ashamed that it took the docuseries for me to wake up.
It's like, do I still listen to his music or do I come out here and support my sisters because what he was doing was just not right?
As they had done when he'd come under fire 10 years earlier, some of R. Kelly's fans spoke up in his defense.
I think the documentary served as a conversation piece. It really opened people up and it forced a lot of uncomfortable and uneasy conversations between men and women and, just within the community.
Radio stations in Dallas and Atlanta pulled Kelly from their airwaves, and a few in his hometown of Chicago reacted as well.
From the moment the docuseries aired until about maybe 3 days later, there was no R. Kelly in the playlist at all. Then about a week later, it started to creep back in. But you had one station, 95.1 Club Steppin', who just said, we're done completely.
The public outcry was amplified by celebrities speaking out. John Legend, the only major recording artist to appear in the series, tweeted his support the night it aired. Other artists who had collaborated with Kelly, including Chance the Rapper and French rockers Phoenix, publicly apologized and announced their support for the women in the series.
You have people who have worked with R. Kelly speaking out after seeing the documentary and saying, I'm not going to be silent anymore. I am going to, speak out for what I believe to be true, and that's, I believe these women.
Celebrities, including actresses Kerry Washington and Jada Pinkett Smith, comedian Leslie Jones, rapper Meek Mill, and politician Stacey Abrams tweeted about surviving R. Kelly.
The social media impact, it's something like I've never seen before. The hashtag surviving R. Kelly, it just dominated the Twitter feed for days.
Then, just days after the series premiered, an announcement from one of the music's most influential performers.
So there's big news. Lady Gaga put something out on Twitter this morning.
In 2013, Lady Gaga recorded a duet with R. Kelly called Do What You Want. It went to number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart.
Lady Gaga apologized publicly. She removed her collaboration with him from all streaming services.
Well, there was an irony with Lady Gaga and R. Kelly in terms of their collaboration. She has been very public about her experiences as a survivor. At the same time, their collaboration was a song called Body.
In her social media post, Gaga, who performed risque versions of the song with Kelly on both Saturday Night Live and at the American Music Awards, wrote, I stand behind these women 1,000%. Believe them, know their suffering and pain, and feel strongly that their voices should be heard and taken seriously.
That was a decision that she made and that her label was happy to respect that decision.
People know that they want to be on the right side of history.
The campaign, You R. Kelly, demanded that all major streaming services remove R. Kelly and his entire catalog.
What R. Kelly? No more! No more!
But because Kelly has not been convicted of any crime, that kind of blanket reaction represents what some industry insiders say is a very slippery slope.
If you're going to remove him based off of what you believe he's done or allegations that have never been proven, We're opening a Pandora's box of basically including dozens, if not hundreds, of popular artists over the last 50, 60 years.
A few weeks after Surviving R. Kelly aired, Spotify did introduce a mute button where users could opt to remove an artist from their own personalized preferences. But according to Nielsen News, Kelly's own streaming numbers nearly doubled in the days after the docuseries aired.
I personally think the sales spiked because people want to go back and hear the lyrics. Some people didn't know who R. Kelly was. They knew of him, heard of him, but never heard his music. What did he write? What did he say?
Conversations are happening all around the world right now because of this, and so naturally, streaming statistics are going to go up. And to me, it doesn't mean that there are way more supporters out there. They're just curious.
Meanwhile, protesters specifically targeted Kelly's label.
Within days, there were protests outside of Sony Music and RCA Records headquarters.
RCA, we're here to say you must stop R. Kelly today.
There was, I think, something like 217,000 signatures collected worldwide asking for his record label and other companies to cut ties.
And then, on January 18th, less than 2 weeks after the series aired, RCA Records, a subsidiary of Sony Music, cut ties with R. Kelly.
Singer R. Kelly is without a record label.
It was a big step for the music industry at large to finally distance themselves from R. Kelly. And it is surprising to a degree that it didn't happen before. But I think it speaks to how damning that documentary really was.
They never made any statement on whether or not it was related to the documentary airing, but the timing makes it feel as though it was very connected.
When RCA dropped R. Kelly, I thought, good for them for taking a stand and for the lives of these black women ahead of their own bottom line. I'm sorry that it took this long to get here, but I'm glad we're at this point.
With his livelihood and reputation on the line, and more accusers coming forward, R. Kelly was about to respond. And his lawyer made it clear that they were going to tackle the allegations head on. Coming up.
Look at all the women are alive. Every one of the women in that documentary had a song they were now going to release, a book they were now going to release. I met R. Kelly once. Look, oh, you look at me all right. I'm so funny.
I don't want him slamming my camera. Can you see?
Not too
The
far away,
response to
but
surviving
you
R.
still
Kelly
see it.
was immediate. Celebrities
Oh, I
cut
can
ties
zoom
with
back
the
in.
R&B superstar. He was dropped by his record label, and a public outcry to mute R. Kelly spread quickly across social media.
It's a
Stories
walker
that
hut. I'm
alleged
gonna put him
were
out
powerful,
somewhere
describing
safe.
behavior that was hard to fathom.
I was in freedom.
You
walking
did it,
around.
big guy.
I went to the restroom. I'd have to ask him. If I was hungry, I'd have to ask him. What do they eat?
Oh, he's right. Did Kelly
right
have to say
there.
about this? In the days
Look,
after
it's
the series
disgusting.
aired, he
Should I
was
do it or
largely
what?
invisible.
I videoed him
His attorneys
coming out of
tried to
jail,
speak for him.
coming out and
Longtime
flipping over
Chicago criminal
everything.
defense lawyer in practice for more
Oh,
than
you
30
his name
years,
right there?
Greenberg sat down with Dateline's Andrea Canning just
See,
after
he
Surviving
turned
R.
his
Kelly
shell
aired
over
to
everything.
assert his client's innocence.
Coach, it took 30 minutes. Gigi said, I wish you'd hurry. I said, it's a snail day, don't worry.
So you can't go to the bathroom. So what do they do? PM themselves? I mean, these people are
Sleeping?
not active in the house. They go to concerts. They're backstage.
Don't
They're
you
not
give me a left off smoke a
content
sleeping
page. They're not
cigarette?
kept in a dungeon.
There's a lot
Don't
of
you
talk
hurt her.
in some cases that he would beat them.
Right. So there's no evidence that he ever beat anybody.
It's like
There's
he's
no
got
bruising, scratching.
liquid.
No one ever complained that he beat them as far as I know anyone that worked for Mr. Kelly. I've never been a victim of a
I
sexual
can never
assault.
tell which friend, but
I can't walk in the shoes of
ain't he a
someone
whopper?
who has been. But I know that I deal with
You know her
and
eyes
it's gonna make
did
these
so
kinds
she
of
would see good
accusations.
stuff
And
that we
you know,
can't see.
let's test them and let's see if they're true. We're gonna find out they're not true because there's no evidence of it.
Has R. Kelly ever knowingly had sex with underage girls?
Absolutely not.
He's moist.
He is certainly aware.
Huh? Oliver? Cool.
Are you planning on keeping it?
Greenberg disputed the
Do you have
notion
it?
that Kelly exerted unusual control
You
over
got a
Ted,
turn?
emphasized that Kelly was innocent
Yeah.
until proven otherwise.
So is R. Kelly saying that all these women who have come
You would
forward
have to have
are
rocks
all
in it and stuff. I
All
don't know if
these
it's
women
that steep or
are
not.
lying. That is absolutely
Every one of
correct.
them.
Every one of them. Yes.
It's just hard to imagine that they're just all telling these humiliating stories for no reason.
And what about all the women he's been with over the years who don't tell these stories? Which are way, a much larger number of women.
Well, it takes a lot to come forward for some of these women.
It doesn't take a lot for these women to come forward. Look what they're doing.
Really? You don't
Look,
think that's
motherfucker,
hard
you
to
don't
come
know
forward?
shit.
No one came forward when they left. No one came forward when they were no longer his girlfriend. They came forward when people sought them out.
Greenberg told family that the women in the series participated out of a desire for fame.
Oliver?
They went to get for 15 minutes.
I want to know
Their limo ride.
what
Their
you need
fancy
a bowl
dinner. Now I get a free trip
or
to
what
New
does
York
it go
City.
in?
Yeah,
Why